Toni Quest, and this is Talk with TQ. I'm TQ, and you can call me that if you want. Well, this is another show and another very, very interesting guest. His name is Keni Banda, and I'm very pleased to have him here because I haven't seen this gentleman for a couple of decades. We actually went to high school together, and he became kind of famous. He owns he's a founder of a sports foundation called the Banda, Bola Sports Foundation. He brought soccer to our high school back in the day, and he's on Talk with TQ. Welcome, Keni.
Thank you.
You've come a long way.
Thank you for having me. Thank you
Yes,
for having
my
me.
pleasure.
It's okay.
Yeah. So tell me more about the Banda Bola Sports Foundation. I've been sort of researching you and following you around on the internet, and you just continue to impress me.
Thank you. Well, it's simple. Soccer ball is what main thing I try to bring to my attention to. I use soccer balls to my village in Africa. The whole idea was to find a way how to generate interest in education and making education fun for the children in the village. So me being a soccer player, I figured that maybe I'll go home and support some of the schools that I went to, and to make sure that the boys, and especially the boys and the girls, are participating in sports. But the main objective is to encourage children to come to school and play and learn. Mm-hmm. So Banda Bola Sports Foundation, the whole idea, the whole concept is promoting education for the village children, and especially the girls. So this is what I'm trying to do.
Okay, so the girls kind of came in a little bit after the fact, as we know, times have changed quite a bit. Because initially it was really boys, and I noticed that most recently you're getting involved in educating young girls in Africa about things that they really didn't have access to, this type of education. Even just to learn about their own bodies. And there's a strange kind of, but very positive irony to that. Tell me a little bit about that. I saw some video.
Yes, the girls in the village, third world countries, we're struggling with the women's rights, girls' rights, especially children's rights.
Yeah.
So one of the things I'm trying to do is generate interest, break the barriers, change the mindset, how we view our women, how we view our girls, how we view our children. So soccer is a new sport as it is in the world, let alone here in America. I began coaching women's soccer in 1980, before soccer was popular in this country.
Right.
So I coached women's soccer. That was my first job. So I've taken the same philosophy of trying to generate soccer in the United States colleges for women. Now I'm bringing the same concept to the girls in the village. So when I went home, I said, listen, I want to bring soccer to the schools, but the girls also need to play like the way I use in America. But they start laughing at me. They goes, no, we don't allow girls to play soccer.
What year is this? That you don't allow, but they didn't allow them to play. Why not?
Because it's a man's game, right?
It was.
It was a man's game. So I'm saying, okay, then for me to give out soccer equipment or soccer balls to boys' team, I must have also girls' teams. So you have to figure a way how to incorporate the girls in this situation. So they resisted, but they had a conversation. They said, okay, if we're gonna receive equipment for Mr. Banda, and he's gonna give us soccer balls. So the boys, they went home, started having discussion with their sisters. They go, hey, sister, cousin, we wanna pay this uniforms, soccer balls, and equipment with Mr. Banda, but we cannot get them unless the girls start their own teams. So they start laughing at him. So the girls start laughing at him. So we can't play soccer. They start laughing and they're giggling and says, don't worry about it. We just want to use you so we can get our uniforms, so we can get our soccer balls. And then they say, okay. So they came back and they said they thought they were tricking me. They think, oh well, we're just going to trick him, pretend that the girls going to play. But then what they did, they were grabbing the stuff from the girls and they were playing them with the boys again. Uh-huh. So a couple of years gone by, I said, well, are the girls playing? They say, oh, yeah, but they were lying to me. So then I started a league. I said, okay, for this to happen, I'll start a soccer league. So you have to show me the names of how many girls are involved, how many boys are involved. So for every boys team, there must be a girls team. So we went from one school, have a discussion with the village leaders, the chiefs, the teachers, the parents, and they all came to the meetings and they were kind of looking at me kind of strange. Because, well, we don't let girls here play football, and they play netball. And then we kind of let them wear shorts, because girls play, even up to today, women just wear dresses and skirts.
In Malawi.
In Malawi. So for me to let the girls say, you gotta come in here, you gotta wear shorts, let's go play. But the boys show up at my clinic, they're already in shorts already.
Right.
So the girls are coming up, they're giggling, goes, well, how are we gonna play this game with dresses? I'm going. So I'm looking at them, going, yeah, this is tough. So I had this conversation with them that we're gonna try to make sure that you feel comfortable for being uncomfortable. So they came, they giggled, they made teams. As years has gone by, they have started, each school now has a team. But the other problem has come about, saying, well, we need more for the girls because to change into uniform, the girls have to change in the bushes. And then the guys will laugh at me, hey, they're changing in the bushes because they're showing up with the dresses and skirts. So it's not right for me to encourage them to play in their dresses, in their skirts. So I try to bring as many shorts as I can to change them so that they feel comfortable to wear shorts. So now they're wondering, our girls are wearing shorts. So when they go see them play, the father showing up, they think the boys, when they see the girls wearing shorts playing, they go, hey, who are the boys playing there? I said, no, that's your daughter, that's your granddaughter. So now the men are saying, wow, what's going on? He's making our girls wear shorts and playing on teams. So yeah, so they're changing that way. The other thing we're finding out that more girls, they come into school, but they don't know why they're coming to school. Because most girls, when they reach the menstrual period, that's when now the parents, they're happy, they celebrate, because now that girl can get married.
Wow.
And they have to leave school and get married and have kids for themselves.
12 years old, you're talking 12 years old.
12, sometimes even 10, 11, okay?
Wow.
So my job is to figure out a way how do we keep these girls in school to finish at least 8th grade. So my program was designed to make sure the girls are coming and they're staying through, hopefully, to 8th grade and learn, English especially, math especially, and writing and reading English, because they need those subjects to pass all the other subjects. So if they don't know English, they don't know how to read, they're not going to make it. So girls drop out much quicker than boys. So my job is to keep the girls in school. And then they say, well, when they become a menstrual period, they have to hide for 2 weeks, and they can't come to school. So guess what? They fail, they flunk out, they drop out. So I had to come back to America and ask my friends, listen, I got a problem. How do I keep these girls in school when they have their menstrual period? Because they're dropping out. So we have a project called the Mooncatcher Project.
Mooncatcher
Project. There's
Yes.
a lady in Schenectady. She sews what we call reusable menstrual pads.
Right.
They sew them right here in America, and then I brought them to my village and trying to show to my sister, my aunt, my grandparents, to say these are the things that the girls can use to make sure that they can stay in school. And they go, oh, wow, but what can you do about us? Because they don't use me either. So the old women now, they're also saying, well, we need them too. So I'm going, oh, this is going to be tough. So I had to show them how to use them. I had to kind of give a demonstration to my sister, say, take this and go to the girls so that at least they can stay in school. And those who want to play soccer, they can still play even when they're having their menstrual period. It's okay, as long as they're wearing their pads.
Right.
So now we've got a large number of girls attending and staying. One, because they do have their menstrual pads, and second, they're playing sports, they're having fun, and they want to finish, at least finish 8th grade before they're married off to have, families and so forth. Most girls, all they're seeing right now, they see their mother every morning get up, go get firewood, go get draw water, and cook, and have babies. So every girl in the village, she sees those 4 things is what she's going to become.
It's assumed, you're saying, that this is what it will be.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They don't see anything else. So for me to come in and they say, no, we got to come to school, at least learn some subjects. Maybe if you pass 8th grade, you can go to high school, called secondary school. And maybe if you do well there, maybe you can go to university. They don't know what that means. They go, what does that mean? So one day I had to take the whole group with me to show them the university. So I took a field trip, put them in a minibus, and took a few girls and students. We went all the way to the city. I said, well, you start to middle school, you go to high school, and you go to university. So we'll do the tour of university to show them around what they can become. So still in their head, they're thinking, wow, there is another way out of the village.
Did they want to be out of the village?
Well, yes and no. because the culture is such that there's pressure, especially for the girls, to be a woman.
Right, when they're just a little girl.
Exactly. All they're seeing their grandmothers there doing all these shows for the families and all that. And they want to grow up as soon as they can become a woman because the respect they get from the village elders, because you're a woman now, you can have your own family. So going away, going to school, they're thinking it's a waste of time because I want to become a woman like my mother, like my grandmother. So yes, we're having this conversation. We bring in experts to talk about, human rights. So people make a choice. Even though we've been independent since 1964 as a country, but people don't understand their rights. So with my program, we discuss things like human rights. And of course, before you discuss human rights, you must discuss things like children's rights, because I'm dealing with children.
So you're teaching this to the children themselves or
Right.
to their parents or both?
Both. Right
I
now, we're
see.
doing both, but the key is to make sure that the children, they ask the questions. So when they go home, they're going to start to have the conversation with their mother, with their father.
Yeah.
Because otherwise they'll say, children stuff. We don't talk kid stuff here. But I said, no, you're going to go home, to tell them you have a right to go to school. You have a right to play. And they go, the government has these things written out. Children's rights, girls' rights. You're talking about United Nations. They have written what we call a resolution that by 2030, they want every child in Africa to have a basic education.
That sounds like a good thing
Right?
to aspire
So,
to.
so with my program, that's what I'm aspiring to. I'm saying this is a resolution I want to go after for my village people, that you can all be educated, basic education, reading and writing, and be able to do your math so you can have a life, within you. So you know what's going on with the Constitution, you know the policies, you can ask questions, and maybe one day you can own your own business, you know how to do things, you have your family. Because right now the girls, they get pregnant, they go to hospital, they don't even know how to feed their children.
There you go.
And most children end up dying before the age of 3, 3 years, all right? So I'm teaching them, or I won't say teaching, explaining and sharing the information I've learned here with my sisters. We go there, we have had conversation that if we can get all the village people to understand that education is a way out of whatever, poverty or your circumstances, and they don't see it that way.
Right. So I sense that there is some resistance from someone.
Of
So
course.
who are the resistors? It's certainly not the girls.
No, the girls, they don't know any better, and so the resistance comes from the parents.
Okay. And why
Right.
is that? Why do they resist?
Because they see the future for their girls is to get married and have more children and grow as a family.
Right.
So you taking them away from us, teaching them how to read and write and sending them away, we're going to have no one here.
Yeah.
Okay? So it's a breaking of the mindset.
Right.
They don't believe that there's another way to have life. Versus just staying here and creating a village of kids running around like chicken and little dogs, so to speak.
Right, yeah.
And I'm saying, no, these girls, they need to grow up to be responsible for themselves. So we bring in different programs. We've got coaches in America. We do clinics where we talk about girls' rights making choices.
Right.
Can the girl make a choice to say, I want to go to school? The mother says, no, I'll tell her to go to school. I say, can a girl make a choice when I should get married? They says, no, we tell them to go when they get married. And so we said, well, that's not human rights.
Yeah. Is it mostly the mothers that resist, or is it the fathers?
Both.
Oh,
This
so
is the
it's-
culture thing. It's the whole culture. We're still kind of living in a primitive society. We're still doing things the way I was doing in 1965 when I left the village, 1964, and even before that. So the same behavior is still around. So there's a lot of attention when you bring in these new ideas that you want to get the, for instance, they say go to school. United Nations should have education for the basic education for all the school children, but the schools won't have 2 teachers from grade 1 to grade 8. So how are they going to get this education?
Yeah.
So it's kind of missing the whole concept. So I try to help with that.
How did you get involved? Like, what is your history? Because obviously you came to this country
Right.
evolved.
Right.
You were from sort of diplomatic parents,
Right.
Yeah. And so you came here almost a little bit elite.
Right. I was very fortunate. I grew up in a family. My mom and my dad, they believe in education.
Right.
Okay, because their fathers, they believe in education.
Which was unusual for Malawi.
Right, exactly. So we are very fortunate. My father's side, the chief, they're a royal family. Okay?
Yes.
So being a royal family, they get to meet a lot of important people. So he grew up in a culture where he listened to his grandfather, ruling, and then to listen to his father ruling and having conversation about being a leader.
Yes.
So he had that concept of leadership.
And the mindset was already there.
Right,
The mindset,
to lead.
You came with
Right.
the mindset.
Right. And on my mother's side, she grew up in a very religious family. When the missionaries came to the village, they landed in our village from David Livingstone, Dr. Laws. All these people, they landed in Shtuka village. So there we learned about the Bible, we learned about Christianity. So my mother's side, her grandfather learned religion, and he became one of the first ordained reverends in the country.
Oh, okay.
So we grew up in that environment. We were learning how to read, we were learning how to speak English. And so when the colonial system was in Malawi, the British, my father became an activist and he became a politician.
Yes.
So he grew the ranks. So he was an activist to break the federation from Rhodesia and Nyasaland to become independent. So once we became self-government, my father was a member of parliament for our district, like a congressman.
Okay.
So he represented our district. So we was in parliament. He was in Congress as a congressman. So from there he grew where now he became a diplomat. So he was sent abroad. So we all came. We came to Germany for a few years.
Yes.
As a family. And then from Germany we came to Mamaroneck. That's how we ended up Mamaroneck in 1967.
And Mamaroneck's a royal place now that you came.
Right. So exactly. So I know Mamaroneck from 1967 until now. So I've lived in America from probably 1967 until now. I know more about the USA than I did the last 10 years of my village.
Okay.
So I go back and I'm relearning, the language. I can speak now better.
Yeah.
I can discuss these issues with my village leadership.
Yes.
And so my father being in that environment has allowed me to have a platform. So when I go home, people will say, oh, that's Mtalika Banda's son. They didn't know who I was. Because I've been away so long.
Yeah.
So when they found out, no, he is the son, the grandson of so-and-so, the chief, the royal family. I said, yeah, I've got friends in America. They want to come in and help us. So I brought these containers of the equipment, of school supplies, uniforms, soccer balls. Now I'm giving out to all the schools in the district. We've got 34 schools right now.
Okay. Wow.
That are getting equipment
That's
for
beautiful.
the last 10 years.
Yeah. So what's next? I mean, and you've done so many things. It's very hard to get it. It's challenging for me to get everything in 1/2 hour because you have done a tremendous amount.
We try.
Well, you're doing it.
We try.
You're doing it, and you got your education, your secondary education in actually post-secondary education in New England.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
And where do you feel your hometown is? What do you consider?
Well,
your
that's what I'm
hometown?
saying. As I said, after being Mamaroneck for those 4 years, my father still being a diplomat in this country, and they went to UMass and did my undergraduate. Then I went back home to be on a national coaching staff. Then I came back in 1978. I got a job at UMass from 1980 to 87. I lived in Massachusetts. So all my kids were born in Amherst, in Northampton.
Okay.
So I know more about New England and Mamaroneck in this country. So I feel like those two areas is where I belong, so to speak, when I'm in America. So Westchester County.
Because when you were young, when you were a youth, that's where you really established yourself as a man.
Exactly. Especially Mamaroneck High School, I know we used to live on 1040 Old White Plains Road.
Yes.
And I used to compete against Scarsdale, White Plains, in Mount Vernon, Portchester. So this brings back a lot of memories being in Westchester County.
Yes.
As a young boy coming from Africa, I had no idea where we were. We never saw snow. We never saw so many people in one school. So it was strange. But I'm very fortunate that we had parents who were well, I would say, educated, but understood education. My father never went to university. My mother never went to university. But they understood that education is a way out of poverty, or understanding what you need to do to help your country.
Yes.
So we need to be educated to help our country. That was the major, I guess, focus with my father, with us as children, to go and get educated so you can go back home and help your country. Right. So we all try to do that, to live up to that legacy of our parents. So that's what I'm trying to do.
I think it's just astounding, what you've really made into yourself. you know, I mean, I know that you had a good foundation being from royalty and all, but still, it doesn't mean that you had to do anything to help anyone. But you seem to have a mindset where you continue to give of yourself to help people. And I'm really impressed with the fact, and I'm going to get into this because our first interview, well, this is our first interview, but I'll say that very recently, the women's soccer team in the United States, you know, was recognized and won the World Cup.
Yeah.
And it's just ironic
Yeah.
that, you know, you were kind of going that way before that even happened.
Yeah.
And I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong, that they could actually compete with the men. They're that good.
Well,
Does
in
that
some
happen?
in some places you can do that. I mean, when I was coaching my women's team at UMass, we used to practice against the men.
Okay.
And, you know, maybe high school team, but they cannot physically. That's not going to happen. But at lower level, younger level, you can do that.
Yes.
Under 10, under 12. I do that right now. I'm doing that in the village. That's why it can become more popular in the village because now I have co-ed grassroots soccer. I'm using the young boys in grades 1 and girls grade 1, 2, and 3, and 4 to introduce the game to them. But they don't have organized youth soccer.
Right.
So now we're saying women are playing in America because they can play youth soccer.
Right.
But we don't youth soccer. So all the girls who won the World Cup, they all play in the youth soccer, but they play against girls against boys. I mean, girls against girls. And they're good in terms of the product they use on the World Cup is very good. Just as good as the men. And I think they were trying to showcase that in World Cup, that we can play this game at the highest level. And now it's being appreciated by Brazil, with other countries, England, France, of course. And you got all the European countries, Spain, they got a beautiful women soccer players out there. They're playing great, great soccer. So now it's becoming popular for the women. Title IX has a lot to do with that. Because Title IX, when I was coaching at UMass, was just allowing women and girls to start playing sports in high school or in universities. So we got that going in America where other countries didn't have it. Right. So that's why U.S. team is so strong because of Title IX. Now Title IX is going all over the world.
There you go.
So now you got all the other countries are saying women's rights to play the game. And in terms of giving them the right equipment also, facilities, and they get paid equal pay.
Equal pay is a good thing.
Play.
I like that.
So they're discussing those kind of issues. It may not be to pay them the same dollar amount, but at least pay them to their ability that they're exhibiting on the soccer field.
Right.
If they're bringing in a good fan base, the children enjoying it, why not pay them the money that they deserve?
Right.
Well, they're not saying maybe pay them like the best male players. They're not saying that. They're just saying players from what we're giving.
It's equitable.
Equitable. Okay, so like any other job you have in America or in the world, that women have a right to earn an income, just like the men have a right. So how many months are they playing? How many weeks? What about the facilities? Are they wearing the right uniforms? Are they getting the doctors? Are the trainers? Is the nutrition good? So that's what they're looking for. That's what equal means.
Yes.
So if they can do that,
Yes.
they're going to play a beautiful game. They're going to play competitive games. So it should be fun to watch women play.
Have you found in your experience, because you're really, even though you teach soccer, you're an educator fundamentally.
Exactly.
Now, have you seen any correlation between like these competitive sports, and you seem to be one that would empower? Have you seen any sort of correlation between how the students that you've worked with, the young athletes that you've worked with, between what they're doing on the field and what they're doing in the classroom? Have you seen a correlation?
Oh yeah, that's the only way. I've been coaching sports in university for over 34 years. So all my coaching are done in universities. I began coaching at University of Massachusetts, and I went to coach at Amherst College, and I went to coach at Wisconsin University, and after that I coached at Albany. So for you to be on those teams, you gotta have good grades.
Yes.
For me to recruit you, you have to have eligibility. So you have to do good on the field and do good in that classroom. So for you to be on the team, you got to have those things going your way. So I've always been around academic environment, higher institution, high academic standards. So discipline, understanding time management, understanding your physicality, what you need to do to train hard and to play at a high level. So academically, I meet women, my former players right now, they come back to me and say, well, the way you trained us has helped me to have my own family or my job. I'm more focused. So they're thinking being an athlete on the field has helped them in their job situation or being leaders in the community. And I'm finding that, everywhere you go. Now I'm taking the same concept into Malawi, in the village. I said for them now, they can participate. Now we want the best students to be on the team. If they pass, we give them extra gear.
There you go.
Those who pass, they get the extra uniforms.
That's wonderful.
And the girls said, wow. I said, if you pass, you're on the team. So if you come into school every day, you're going to be on the team. If you come to school more than the other person, you're going to get shoes. So now the competition on the field is now in the classroom.
That's
so
beautiful.
The grades are saying you're going to be on the team. The grades are meaning you're going to get more gear. So that is going on. Yes, I use that as a way of training or teaching and educating the mind, body, and spirit.
Oh, see, so in the Banda Bola Sports Foundation, you sort of dissolved that whole notion of the dumb jock.
No.
You can't be a jock and be dumb. Now it's an oxymoron.
Exactly.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that you're embracing girls as well.
Yeah.
Because, growing up in a generation that was on the cusp of the women's movement,
That's
it's
right.
like we're very sensitive to this when when we were younger.
Right.
We women in that generation trying to make something of ourselves and sort of getting resistance and no, that's not for girls.
Right.
No,
Right.
it is for girls.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
you'll go to heaven.
So
for
this
that.
is the thing that my passion for sports has allowed me to have that conversation, especially after coaching women for so many years, both soccer and track and field. I can have this conversation at the highest level. They used to laugh at me when I began coaching women.
Yeah.
My male friends were laughing at me. Oh, you're coaching girls? Come on, man! you gotta come in here. What are you gonna do with them? What are you gonna teach them? You gotta come and play. Come on, coach us. I'm going to Africa, I'm getting the same thing. They're laughing at me now because I'm trying to help the children. They're laughing at me because I'm trying to help the girls. And now the girls are being laughed on because they want to play a men's game. They're calling them, oh, you want to be like a boy, or you might be a tomboy. So they're giggling at them.
Yeah.
But then in the future is we want to dismiss that, the mindset that no, they have the right to participate in anything they want.
That's so beautiful.
So that's what we're trying to do here.
I love it. And I think that I want to talk to you more about this in another interview because I just have a feeling that this is going to become more than you even ever anticipated. I believe, because I'm a woman, that you get women involved, it's going to be better.
Well, that's true. That's true.
I don't want to sound biased, but that's usually the way it works.
Well, the world thinks that way. The global people think that way. The village people, now they're being told, I'm trying to tell them that if you educate a girl, she'll embrace the community better.
Yes.
They will take care of us. They're already doing it, but if we educate them, they'll even do a better job.
Right, exactly.
For taking care of the community. So that's what I'm trying to do.
Well, that's so good. I'm so happy. I'm so happy to talk to you.
Thank you.
You're very inspiring. I feel like kicking a soccer ball or something.
Well,
Give her
let's go.
I was never much of a jock, but this is so excellent. And so where can people find out about what is your website?
Yes.
What is the website?
My website is www.bandabolasportsfoundation.org. And Stuka Village Project, we also have a Facebook. My phone number is 518-364-2842. You can also try to go on Facebook and friend me, and I'll give you all the information.
Yes. Yeah, be a friend. We're friends.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm really happy. Thank you so much, Keni.
Yeah.
This is very inspiring, and I feel like, it almost gives you hope for the whole world.
Good to be home.
There's that. Well, it's good to have you home.
Yeah, it's good
and
to be home.
I think there's something about sports and sportsmanship that is something we should all embrace in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
But I'm going to thank you so much for coming to the show.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you doing great work.
Thank you for having me. It's good.
It's
Hope
my
to see you again.
pleasure. It's my pleasure, my honor.
Thank you.
And I'll tell the audience, thank you for coming. I know you enjoyed this interview, and please tell your friends about Talk with TQ and the great people that come on the show. It's always about somebody else to me, not about myself, and I try to bring you the most outstanding individuals I can possibly dig up to present to the audience. And come back next time.